I love you 3000.
Hello everyone, it's Immuux, your Warzone teacher, and welcome back to another Warzone 2 video, where I'll be showing you guys how you can win more GULAG matches, so you don't end up being called 4000 among your friends. In this guide, I'll be giving you my 10 absolute best tips and strategies that help you to outplay your opponents in the GULAG. That way your team can save a few bucks and you will get back to the fight sooner. So without further ado, let's get straight into these tips. My first tip is to have one clear strategy that you use every time you fight in the GULAG. That helps you to get the routine and confidence that you need to constantly win these 2v2 gunfights. But because this time the GULAG is indeed 2v2, you should also be able to adapt your own strategy based on the decisions that your teammate makes or the information that you get of your two enemies. The starting strategy that I'm currently using is to sprint to the head glitch in the middle lane of the GULAG and try to gain information whether my enemies went to the left side or the right side of the map. I don't like to fight so much in the stage side of the GULAG, but when both of the opponents rotate there, you have a good chance to pinch them with your teammate. And speaking of teamwork, my second tip is to focus on good communication with your GULAG partner. You can take advantage of this when you end up in the same GULAG with your teammate, but also when your random GULAG partner has a mic. Remember to keep your comms short and clear, like pushing from left or broke the guy on right, etc., so it's easier to react to them. That way you can trade elimination and use the power of friendship to outplay even those more speedier players. My third tip is to concentrate on your centering, because without good centering you won't be able to get your eliminations no matter what strategy you are using. Good centering means that you should always keep your crosshair in the most dangerous or the most likely position where the enemy might be coming. That helps you to eliminate your opponents faster, because then you don't have to correct your aim when the enemy, for example, pushes around the corner. The TTK is so fast in this game that you should always concentrate most of all to your accuracy. For example, for me, movement is one of my strengths, but in centering I have had a lot to learn. Movement of course helps, and I really hate to see people crouch walking in the corners, but the most important thing in the GULAG is to hit those couple of shots that will get you back to the game. My fourth tip is to always use your lethals and different kind of tacticals that you can loot from the ground. They can deal a bit of damage, but the more important thing is to gain information about your enemies. That way you can clear one side of the map and focus on the other. I have also started to use smoke grenades pretty often, because they work well when you need to rotate in the gunfire or you just need some extra time to heal. My fifth tip to win more GULAG matches is that you should try to confuse your enemies before the match starts, because the enemy can see where your character is headed. You can do it, for example, by showing that you are going to right, but then you push forward or to the left side. Then when you storm aggressively to the other side, you might be able to hit couple shots before they realize it, and you will have the upper hand in the fight. However, you can use that same mechanic to gain information about your enemies. But be careful to not get bamboozled by someone playing with you, and always look for a real visual confirmation that, for example, both of the enemies went to the left side. Before we get to the next tip, it's time to thank today's sponsor. And the sponsor of the day is... sadly no one, but it could be you. I have put my own Patreon link in the description below, and there you can find different ways to support me, and in one of them you will get your own sponsor section for one of my YouTube videos. I can, for example, put a big picture of your face here if that's something that you want. So if you're interested to support me, check my Patreon link in the description below. My sixth tip is to grab a vest if you find one in the GULAG. It will give you one extra plate that you can equip right away, so that you will have 50 HP more than your enemies. It will also give you 2 more plates that you can use if the enemy breaks you. The third good reason why you should pick it up is because you can keep it if you win the GULAG and spawn back to Al Masra. They are not always easy to find, so it's great to have it already when you start to regain. My next GULAG tip is to use the jailer to gain more information about the remaining enemies. The jailer is an AI juggernaut that tries to shoot everyone in the GULAG. And as most of you probably know, if you team up with your enemies to eliminate him, you will all get back to the game. However, that doesn't happen very often, and there is always a chance that your enemies might betray you and you will end up backstabbed. So the way I react to the jailer is to try to listen where he tries to shoot with his minigun. For example, in a 1v1 situation, I try to kinda push the enemy to a 1v2 situation, where the jailer forces him to run towards me. But that works other way around as well, so I try to stay as far as I can from the jailer, so that I won't end up in that annoying situation where the enemy and the jailer pinches me to a corner of the map, for example. My eighth tip is to know when to back out, and that doesn't mean to leave to the lobby when the enemy stacks his M-Dogs on you, do, it means that when you have taken some damage, back out to cover for a while and then re-enter the gunfight. It takes like 6 seconds for your health to regain, so often you will still have time to find a new angle and get the Gulag victory. My main tip to get more Gulag wins is to use the peeker's advantage. That means that when you come aggressively behind a corner and your enemy is standing still, you will see the enemy before he sees you. And this mechanic is more powerful when you peek from the right side of an obstacle, because your gun is in the right side of your body, and that way you will see the enemy sooner than from the left side. In addition to that, before you are able to shoot while peeking from the right side, you won't be showing as much of your body to the enemy as you would have if you had peeked from the left side. My last tip in this Gulag guide is that you should practice playing with different Gulag weapons. You can do that, for example, in multiplayer, custom game or even DMZ. That's actually pretty important, because some of the weapons like the Basilisk might not be very familiar to most of your enemies, and that way you can gain a huge advantage even before the Gulag starts. Now, if you feel like you find yourself too often in the Gulag, watch this video here next to find out how to unlock any meta weapon in less than 5 minutes to get the best loadout possible for Warzone 2. That way your friends won't be calling you as 4000 anymore. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Peace.